Welcome to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show, where you get advice you can trust. From home selling tips to investing, this is the talk show that will help you make the most money when selling your most valuable asset and save the most money when buying. Now here are your hosts, Dave McKay, along with Wally Kerr, broker and founder of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty in Oklahoma City.
Well, welcome and good morning to today's show. This is the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show. It is brought to you each and every week by our fine sponsors, Chris Doak at Gateway Mortgage and Best Protect Roofing and Construction. With me are, of course, the stars of the show, Wally and Cindy Kerr. Hello.
Morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Yeah, how was your week this week?
Not bad. It was just a week, but not bad.
I liked the weather. Got a little colder this weekend,
Yes.
and especially on Sunday. If you're listening, we're live on Saturdays at 11, and then we repeat Sundays at noon.
Yes.
By the way, I understand that next week, Dave, our show is going to run for 30 minutes on Saturday morning, but we're going to have to cut short and record the rest of the show that will repeat on Sunday. I think there's an OU women's basketball game next weekend that's going to preempt the show. So if you normally listen to our show, we're going to do the first 30 minutes live. It'll be interesting, which we always do. But then we're going to record the last part of the show, and we'll replay the rest of the show. I think it's going to be on a couple of times next Sunday, so be sure and listen in.
One of those rare times when it happens, and I guess we'll concede every once in a while.
I guess we'll let the university override us. The OU women's basketball team's doing great this year,
yes,
so congratulations to them.
Yes. So for all of our previous shows, of course, you can search all the main podcast networks and at wallytalkshouses.com. They're like categorized, or you can search just specific topics, which I love. You don't have to go find a date and listen 45 minutes in to find the content you want. You can find every little segment there, and it's really easy to find at wallytalkshouses.com.
Yeah, the marketing team's done a really good job of just summarizing each show, and you can go pick and choose whatever you'd like to do. We got some great topics today that we'll talk about, Dave, including what Wall Street investors are doing. They're talking out of both sides of their mouth.
Okay.
So we're going to pick on Wall Street a little bit today. Do you like picking on people? You can pick on me because I can't hear you if you're a listener, but we're going to pick on Wall Street today. Also, Dave, do you know that empty nesters are holding on to homes that they really don't need, and it's kind of hurting millennials today? We'll talk about that a little bit. Are you looking at the fluff only when you're looking at homes? Because it's typical for people to do that. We're going to have a little wisdom for you on that today. We're also going to talk about finding a realtor that you click with. Something we've never talked about here on our show, even running our show for a year.
Yes.
So how do you find a realtor that you click with, somebody that's going to do a great job for you? We'll move fast today. Got some great topics.
We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stick around.
Looking for a cash offer for your home? If so, do you want to see just one offer, or would you prefer to receive multiple cash offers and you get to choose the one you want? IWantMultipleOffers.com is the place to go. And that's exactly what you'll get fast. You choose the closing date, no open houses, no strangers in your home, and no waiting to receive an offer. You can sell as is. Today we know that homeowners like you want options. Our cash offer program, where you receive multiple offers, not just one, allows you to do what you want to do. If the cash offers aren't quite as high as you want, you still have the option of placing your home for sale for only as long as you want. 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, you choose. And if it's not sold in that agreed period, you can take any one of the cash offers, including one from us. Visit IWantMultipleOffers.com. Get the options you want, or just give us a call today. Wally and Cindy Kerr at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty at 330-3000.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233, Equal Housing Lender.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
Well, Wally, you said something kind of funny. You talked about Wall Street investors talking out of both sides of their mouths. So is that in relation to how they like to spin things when we hear like what the Fed does or what Wall Street thinks about what's going on?
It's kind of funny you just used the word spin. I'm thinking about spinning wheel that goes, what goes up
must come down.
There you go. It's the interest rate. So
it must be coming down.
Well, actually, they went up a little bit this last week, believe it or not.
Yes.
Here we've been talking for a long time about hoping the Fed would move its rate down. Everybody seems to want that, but kind of the question here is you can't have your cake and eat it too. We've heard that, right? So how do rates come down when you've got a healthy economy? So a week ago Friday, the U.S. jobs report came out. I think a lot of people have heard about it, Cindy. 353,000 jobs created in the U.S. That was an astronomical number. I mean, huge.
Yes.
If you added farm payroll in there, it was over 500,000 people employed just in the month of January. Well, guess what? They liked that. And so the market went berserk, and investors said, wow, we're in a good, healthy economy. Yay, let's celebrate.
And they said, but let's drop the interest rates.
Well, that's right. But, and then yet
that's the cake and eat it too.
That's the problem with Wall Street. They're
Yes.
talking out of both sides of their mouth. Okay, they want the economy to do good, but they also know that if the Fed would drop its rate, everybody would celebrate. Well, why would the Fed drop its rate whenever the economy is doing great?
Sure.
Which one would you rather see, Cindy? Do you want lower
Sure.
rates or do you want a healthy economy?
If you have lower rates because of the fact that there's a recession, then you're going to have job layoffs. And that is not going to allow people to qualify for loans. So you need a healthy economy.
Yeah, so the rates could be low, but you're not going to have as many buyers. You may not have someone to buy,
Right.
even though
'Cause you
the
don't have
rates
a
are low,
job.
because you're right, there's not enough people with jobs to buy those houses.
That's
so even
right.
though the rates are up a little bit, we've talked about this before, people are pumping money into the economy, which we like. And since you have a job or you're making more money, you're more likely to be able to spend a little bit more. Hence, the rate going up a little bit, you can kind of weather that a little bit, right?
Yeah, if you hit a recession and the economy pulls back, there's really one of two things that typically happens with employees, and they either get their wages lowered, which nobody's excited about that, or they get laid off.
Or they get laid off.
So rates went up a little bit this last week. On Monday, rates came out, and we saw some conventional mortgage rates into the low sevens again. That kind of reverses the pattern of what we've seen over the last 7 or 8 weeks. Like we sang, what goes up will come down. Just a matter of when.
But you know what, Wally? These are just small changes. Over our 37-year career, we have seen huge differences in interest rates. We're just talking quarter point, half a point here.
Get used to it, folks. Get used to rates in the sixes, because I think that's what you're going to see all of this year. Do you know that unemployment right now is at its lowest rate in 54 years since 1969
That's amazing.
nationwide? It's going to change. The rates will come down, but I wouldn't bank on it, and we're going to talk about that kind of throughout the show today. If you're selling, it's going to be a really, really good market this summer because there's not going to be enough for sale. If you're buying, I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait because it's going to get more competitive.
Important. You will be competing with a lot of other buyers for a very short shortage of inventory.
Pretty good chance that values will increase pretty quickly here during the spring and summertime, Dave.
Hey, let's jump right into our first House Talk segment of the day. And I kind of find this interesting. I have a couple of comments here, and it's how empty nesters or boomers are holding on to larger homes than they need. Everyone's moved out. They have some spare bedrooms. They don't need a 4,000 square foot home. They could do with a 3,000 or 2,500 square foot home, but they're hanging on to them. And I have a couple of ideas, maybe because is it the interest rates? They really enjoy that they have these lower interest rates on these homes, and they're just kind of holding while they can, even though it's too much house for them. Conversely, I see the problem of growing families. These are the homes typically that the new families are moving into. And I know I'm stealing all of your content here, but
that's
I think you're
very
on the money.
accurate.
But yeah, I kind of think you're right. And that causes a problem, right? These people that are going to be looking for those homes that should be available because everything's cyclical. The younger families are looking for the bigger homes. Older families are now downsizing, but that's not happening, and it's creating a problem, right?
Part of it is they've got that low mortgage, like what you said, maybe, that they're enjoying that low mortgage, or their home is paid off and they're comfortable where they are.
Yes.
It's work to move. But there are a lot of baby boomers that are holding on to those homes. It's not the Gen Zs that want those homes yet. The Generation Z population are younger. But it is the millennials who are moving into their 30s, maybe getting closer to their 40s.
Yes.
Many of them have children now. They need these homes and they need more space. But a lot of people are holding on to their homes today and they're not selling. Like you said, maybe they do have a mortgage that they're still paying off, albeit it's probably a smaller mortgage.
And it's interesting that the median monthly housing cost for boomers right now is just $612, according to Redfin, which is much lower than the country's median monthly mortgage payment of $2,199. And that's exactly why boomers, if their house isn't paid off, it's almost paid off and they have a low rate and they're hanging on to it.
Yeah, $600 a month on average for those boomers that are holding on to those homes.
Is this a situation that we've seen before, or... we talked about it, I think, last week, a little bit of a different topic, but, with COVID and a lot of people not traveling, they basically were making their homes their staycation or their vacation spot. They were putting in either a pool or they're putting in a pergola outside or they're redoing stuff in the house. So I could see you're getting older, you're getting comfortable, and you've made these modifications. Well, now you're comfortable and if you're not traveling as much, you have your little vacation home that you're in all the time.
Dave, that's exactly right. And over 37 years that Wally and I have been in real estate, it seems like it's an anomaly because it used to be that young families would move up and just by nature, empty nesters would sell their homes and those homes would become available. It was all kind of smooth, cyclical sailing. And now all of a sudden, because these interest rates change so quickly, it kind of threw a monkey wrench in that whole plan.
And, if you still have the income, I think about this too, is the boomers that own these homes know that they've been going up pretty dramatically in value over the last couple of years.
Yes.
If you bought a stock today, like we own some Apple, Dave.
Yes.
And Apple has done really, really well over the years. I don't really have a desire to go sell my Apple because I see it appreciating.
Sure.
It's going up in value. Probably the same thing for some of the boomers thinking, gosh, it's not costing me that much to own this home. Now, if the taxes and the insurance and the HOA fees got to be out of hand, maybe they would go sell. But remember that property taxes don't change dramatically until a home sells.
That's right.
And that's when
true,
they
yes.
adjust. So their property taxes may be comfortable and their insurance. And unless their income has dropped off dramatically, most people have enough retirement income to still afford to keep that home. I think that's the big one here is the values are still predicted to go up more and more. And I think it is keeping some boomers holding on to houses that they really don't need. But it's causing an inequity inside
It really
the marketplace because baby boomers now own twice as many large homes as millennials with kids do.
Huh.
And that's surprising.
What about millennials taking the route of now building homes because they can't find the homes?
That is what's going to change this. But new construction can only go so far. They just can't keep up with demand. And if land use, zoning laws changed where perhaps, especially in other parts of the country where you see these accessory homes in the backyards of really highly densely populated areas, that could change things. New construction could change things. The other thing that'll happen is as baby boomers age, they'll naturally have to move. They can't go up the stairs. They need something, I hate to say it, maybe assisted living even. So it will come along. But right now we're in a little bit of a disparity and it's tough.
Wally said people want to hold on to them for the value. If I'm in my older years, I'm thinking, I don't have to make a move right now. I could just stay in my comfortable home that I've been in for 25, 30, 40 years. And then when I go, then my family could sell the home and reap the benefits of that, which only increases year by year. So it is an investment.
And don't we all get a little more sentimental as we get older
Yes.
and probably want to hang on to the home? How many of our listeners today Maybe it's you or it was your parents who just said, I want to stay in my home until I pass. This is familiar. My belongings are familiar. My spouse lived here with me. So that sentiment, along with getting used to it, and we get older and it's harder to move, I think that's part of this.
So maybe you really do like staying in that home, or it is time to move. Maybe you're a boomer and you're ready to sell. Folks can call or text you guys for a consultation. There's no obligation. You guys just chat. Maybe you can go by and tour their home, or you can look it up online. And if they're looking to downsize, you have plenty of opportunities. You can afford them around the metro, places to look. Give out your phone number one more time and the services you guys offer.
330-3000. I think what we'd probably do is just a consultation, if that's what you'd like to do. Talk about how hot the market's going to be this summer and really answer 3 questions, right, Cindy? Mm-hmm. How much a home should sell for, how long it should take to sell, and then how much they'd walk away with when all is said and done. That's typically part of that consultation, so call us anytime.
Again, that's 405-330-3000. We're going to take a quick break. We're back with Wally's Weekly Wisdom. This is going to be interesting. Are you looking at the house fluff only? Stick around for that.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233. Equal housing lender.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Hey, home buyers, let's talk turkey for a minute. Would you choose a healthy economy or lower interest rates? As of January 5th, the U.S. jobs report says we're in a healthy economy with a larger increase in jobs in the U.S. That leads us to believe the Fed will wait even longer until it begins to reduce its rate. Meantime, the demand for homes always picks up in the spring, with many buyers chasing the same home, and that means more competition for you. With home prices on the rise, doesn't it make sense to get in the market now? A $300,000 home that increases just 2% over the next year will increase $6,000 in value. I'm Wally Kerr, and my team and I offer rock-solid advice about buying a home in a market like this one, where home prices are going up and fewer homes are for sale. Call Kerr Team today at 330-3000. Tell us you're ready to get started with the process. I promise you'll have a great experience working with my team. Call us today at 330-3000.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
Wally, at the top of the show, you mentioned when people are going out to look at homes, are they just looking at house fluff? So I'm thinking of kind of that shiny object that catches your eye, maybe in the kitchen. If they like to cook, double ovens, or maybe a jacuzzi tub or a fire pit in the backyard. And I would think these are things that you want to find your perfect home that suits you first. You can easily add those things later, as opposed to buying that house with a beautiful green shag carpet in the conversation pit.
Still have some of that at your house, Dave?
But the floor plan, I'm not
Floor plan is not changeable.
So is that what you're talking about with Wally's Weekly Wisdom today?
It is. Just real simple. I'll go into a home and walk buyers through, and they head in, and they're looking at shiny, pretty, new, remodeled, but I have a tendency to head straight to the garage and look at the age of the furnace, walk out and look at the air conditioner condenser outside.
Yes.
climb up almost sometimes on a little ledge in the garage to look at the top of the hot water heater to see if it's rusted out, and perhaps even looking on the outside and already trying to determine how old the roof shingles are. So what this comes down to is, let's move to roof here for a minute. So roof shingles in Oklahoma last around 17 years unless it's a class 4.
Yes.
And so if you buy a home today, you go out, you're looking at homes, let's say that a roof is 8 years old. And you think, well, that's really not bad. It's maybe got what I'm hearing them say is a 17-year life, and it's 8 years old. The truth is that 8-year-old roof is probably not going to qualify for full replacement coverage. So instead, Cindy, it's going to be actual cash value, right?
That's right. And, with the cost of roofs right now, if you don't have full replacement coverage and you get a hailstorm, which you're going to get in Oklahoma, that roof is going to be depreciated, and you may not get enough to cover it with even your savings matching that. So you really have to think about it.
I want to talk through that real quick with our listeners. Let's assume for a minute a $10,000 roof for replacement, because that's easily goes to 10 grand today. Let's assume the roof is half of its useful life is gone. Let's say it's about a 17-year roof according to insurance adjusters in Oklahoma, unless it's class 4. Okay, so you've used about 50% of its life, but you've got a deductible. So if you start with a $10,000 roof, half the life's gone, it's worth $5,000.
Yes.
Now you've got, let's say, a 1% deductible, and let's say the home is worth $300,000. You getting this pretty quick here?
Yes.
We were at 5. Now you got a $3,000 deductible. Your roof gets hailed on. You bought a home that only had an 8-year-old roof, and now you end up getting a $2,000 settlement from insurance, and it costs you $8,000 out of pocket.
$8,000. And we're seeing that, so it is really critical to think about whether you're going to be able to get full replacement or not.
Let's change gears. How many of you have gone out and looked at homes before and done what Wally does, and that is walk in the door, but instead of looking at the home, you head straight to the garage to see how old the heat and air system is? So as heat and air systems gotten newer, Dave, and we've talked about this on previous shows, as they become more efficient, the quality of those appears to have gone down, according to a couple of HVAC contractors and companies I've talked to, which means the life is shorter. So an HVAC system today, to replace the furnace and the coil and the condenser, Cindy, I haven't seen anything for less than $7,000. And I've seen them as high as $12,000 or $13,000. And as you buy something more efficient, does cost go up or down? Up astronomically. Okay, so let's think about that. Say a heat and air system's going to last, what used to last 20 years, I'm getting reports now lasts 10 to 15 years.
Wow.
Same deal.
That slush fund is draining quickly.
Yeah, the slush fund's going away fast, isn't it? So now you're talking about a $10,000 heat and air system, and let's say that it's 10 years old, and you think that's not bad. What if it's a system that's only going to last 15 years? Now, 5 years from now, here you are. Insurance isn't going to pay for that like they would a roof. Insurability on heat and air, when it quits, you pay for it yourself. I just want to remind our listeners, hot water heaters are around $2,000 to replace, get them replaced professionally. And heat and air systems, I haven't seen anything less than $6,000, $7,000, and more often $10,000 or $12,000. Stop looking at the fluff and start looking for the rough. Garbage disposal, no big deal. But let's get away from those appliances and talk about major systems.
And Dave, you also have to look at what kind of reserves do you have as a buyer? Do you have money in an upfront slush fund to replace some of these things? Because maybe the location is just great. Schools, your work, and that kind of outweighs some of these other things, and you can afford to replace some of these things. So it's not cut and dry. It's not 8 out of 10. It's a very, very complicated decision, and it should be, because it's a huge investment.
So it sounds like I just need to do the math. And like you said, it's going to be different for every individual on their family's situation. The perfect neighborhood in the perfect school system.
That's right.
A mile and a half from work. The HVAC is about 10 years old. We're not going to find that home that checks off everything else. The money I had set aside for upgrades in a different home, that's going to go to a new HVAC system. So I just need to know where that money's going. And basically, in this instance, I'm going to be buying a new HVAC system.
I really like what you both said. If you're cleaning out your bank account to make your down payment and pay your closing costs, and you have nothing left over, gosh, be careful about buying a home with an older roof, an older HVAC system, an older hot water heater, where you're going to have big expenses and struggle to be able to come up with that money.
You know, the important thing is that we take the time with our buyers, because I've had buyers where the kitchen, they're gourmet cooks, and that is the most important thing to them. So there are different important things to each buyer, but as long as we make them aware of these things Wally's talked about, they can sit and look at their reserves and decide if it's the right purchase for them.
Now, you said it's going to be a hot housing market. Let's jump right into our second House Talk segment, because that, to me, equates confidence in the economy. The consumer sentiment about buying power and everything is up as well. Even though it's going to be hot, I might answer this question myself. How does that affect the housing market here in Metro Oklahoma City? What are we going to see here with consumer confidence going up as well?
Part of it, I think, stems from this confidence that you're talking about, is because inflation's a little more under control. Man, it was kind of scary a couple of years ago when inflation was running 8, 9, 10%
Prices
per
at the
year.
store every time you went were up.
What I'm reading is that consumers believe that the Fed's got a pretty good handle on inflation, and so that's increasing some consumer confidence. What about what you've been paying at the gas pump, Dave? Now, I think gas is up a little bit this week or so from where it was last week.
Yes.
It was going down.
Yeah, I was buying some premium gas for my car, and it was only about $3 a gallon. I was feeling pretty good about that. I remember when it was $3.85, $3.90, maybe even a time when it was $4.10 a couple of years ago. So I think consumers have grown more confident about the direction of the economy. The University of Michigan, Dave, recently did a survey and reported that consumer confidence showed its highest level since July of 2021 and up about 21% from a year ago.
Okay.
So there's statistical data there that says that people have more confidence. And that followed a big jump in December and comes, you know, despite public opinion surveys showing that there's been some concern about the nation's direction. On a 2-month basis, sentiment showed its largest increase since 1991. So these surveys are indicating that confidence is there.
You mentioned in 2021, boy, we were starting to get out of COVID slowly, but people saw that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and people were very confident in the economy, going out and starting now to spend our stimulus checks or whatever money we did have at the time. And then it seemed like, I'm sure as it would plateau a little bit, because it's like, whoa, pull back the reins on Cindy's horse there. And so that would kind of slow things. And it was like, okay, well, we rode that out, and now we're going back up again.
Yes.
And this is natural confidence, not man-made interest rates in 2020 and everything.
Artificially low.
Yes,
That's
artificially
right.
low.
Won't see those again.
Yeah, so this is more of the natural stuff going up.
Yeah, I just kind of wonder if this little rock in the market this last week when rates went up a little bit, anybody that was thinking about buying that didn't buy and saw the rates go up this last week, my question is, how's that working for you waiting? Because now they went back up. There's going to be, might rock the confidence a little bit. Here we are headed towards spring, natural time for people to buy and sell. I know there's a lot of home buyers that are going to be thinking, if these rates come back down again a little bit, I better just jump out there right now.
Well, so will everybody. That's the problem you talked
There's
about.
going to be lots of competition.
Lots of competition.
It's exactly
for
what-
very few homes,
That's
because all
why-
the boomers are holding on to them.
Yes, that's why Wally is wise. We have a segment called Wally's Wisdom, because he's very wise. And we mentioned now is the time to buy. So now the buyers might take a step back, and when they're ready to buy, well, so are 20 more people for every one that was ready to. And now you have all that competition.
And, keep in mind, if rates did go way down for some reason, which is very unlikely, you can always refinance.
It's with home buyers, it's the same way you and I were with commodity prices, really with anything we bought over the last couple of years. There's a steady majority of Americans that continue to say that price increases have created a financial hardship for them. And I know that the millennials and the Gen Zers have gotten very frustrated with housing affordability. We talked last week that we hope that maybe in the next few years we begin to see 40-year mortgages, maybe. I think it's a possibility.
Yes.
Something else the other day that said millennials still believe the American dream is home ownership. and they believe that they would like to own a home, and many have been frustrated with costs. So all I can see is that it's going to be a tight housing market again this year. Looks like housing prices will go up. I think it's pretty good advice for us to say, if you're planning on buying a home, you're probably not going to get hurt and probably going to see the value go up. And if interest rates come down, it's probably not going to be much this year at all. Right, Cindy?
That's right. And one thing we can be thankful for is that we are in Oklahoma. I read so many national press coverage that talks about the fact that you just can't buy a home for under $1 million on the coast. Millennials and younger generations are so frustrated by that because for your first home to be over $1 million is just untenable.
Yeah, their chance of getting into home ownership is pretty limited, isn't it, Dave?
Yes, and to think about the slight ups and downs that we have here in Oklahoma, we might take that for granted and think, oh, well, I was going to list my home, or we were thinking about buying, but now we're going to hold off a little bit. Just think about, we do have it kind of easy here.
We do. Your first home is more affordable than
it's
on the
affordable,
coast.
and it's an asset. There's so many people in life, their biggest asset is their home.
That's right.
And it creates a lot of wealth for people over the years. It's something that appreciates as you pay off the mortgage, and you can lock in a low interest rate for many, many years. And keep in mind, listeners can always refinance. You get to lock in a rate now, but at any time you want to, you can go back and refinance when rates do drop.
For anybody that wants to experience the dream of home ownership, it is the American dream. There has to be homes available. And I understand that Kerr team has a couple of homes out there for sale, possibly. We will talk about
a few
open houses and listings of the week coming up next, right here. Stick around.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for a cash offer for your home? If so, do you want to see just one offer, or would you prefer to receive multiple cash offers and you get to choose the one you want? IWantMultipleOffers.com is the place to go, and that's exactly what you'll get fast. You choose the closing date, no open houses, no strangers in your home, and no waiting to receive an offer. You can sell as is. Today we know that homeowners like you want options. Our cash offer program, where you receive multiple offers, not just one, allows you to do what you want to do. If the cash offers aren't quite as high as you want, you still have the option of placing your home for sale for only as long as you want. 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, you choose. And if it's not sold in that agreed period, you can take any one of the cash offers, including one from us. Visit IWantMultipleOffers.com. Get the options you want, or just give us a call today. Wally and Cindy Kerr at your home sold guaranteed realty at 330-3000.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
The part of the show that a lot of people have been waiting for, that want to start home ownership. They want to know where are the homes. They want to hear about these fantastic homes. So Wally, tell us about some of the open houses we have this weekend and our listings of the week.
You ready for this one? I got a sweet one to tell you about today.
Okay, is it a chocolate factory?
Yeah, it is. Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory is now for sale with Kerr team. I got a sweet little deal to tell you about. I'm going to draw a picture for you. Imagine living east of the metro within a very, very reasonable striking distance on 20 acres with a pond out your front door.
Oh, okay.
And privacy.
Yes.
A little cabin that's kind of modern but also kind of rustic.
I like it.
For $225,000.
Wow.
20 acres.
Yes, sir. Over in Seminole. You might have a hard time Googling this one, so text me at 330-3000 and say, hey, send me pictures of the Seminole property and I'll send you a link. It's just a little 2-bed, 1-bath, but it is 1,560 feet, so it's pretty nice in size. Dave, it was built 20 years ago. In 2002.
Okay, so it's not like a 60-year-old home.
It's not old. It's a waterfront cabin in Seminole on 20 acres with a private pond for $225,000. If you wanted to sneak away on the weekends and get away from the hustle and bustle of the metro and go escape at this little cabin over in Seminole, the address, if you want to try to Google it, it's 35270 East West Road, 1230. So that's a great property. Few really nice luxury homes to tell you about.
Okay.
So some families maybe thinking about moving this spring, right, Cindy?
That's right.
There are families that despite interest rates, they will need to move. Maybe they're having twins. Maybe they're going to move a parent in with them and they need an in-law suite. I'll be at 1200 Southern Hills Circle in Norman. 4 or 5 bedrooms, easily 5. I'm going to be there from 1 to 3 p.m. because of the Super Bowl. So come see me and meet me. I'd love to shake your hand. This is a 5,222 square foot home on 2 acres, backs up to a golf course, newly painted on the inside. If you've ever listened about this home before, got in and painted all the blue and brown out. The owners painted it white, and it's nice, bright, cheery.
And it looks huge because it has high ceilings and huge windows. And now that it's all white inside, it looks amazing. It's got beautiful tile floors, and the setting is just unbelievable on that.
Plenty of room for
course.
mom or dad, and again, it's got a pool, and it does back up to a golf course. We have another one at 3605 Joshua Lane in Moore in a gated community called Joshua's Landing. Nearly 5,000 feet, 1.4 acres, only 10 years old, backs up to a swimming pond. Mom or dad could live with you there based on the layout in the home. There's 2 studies inside, including one for homeschooling for 2 kids. That home is priced at $975,000. 2 more homes of the week to talk about. Got this great home in Gaillardia, over 5,100 square feet and priced below $1.2 million. I like that location, Dave, because it's in Gaillardia. It's behind a double gate. But you can actually walk up the stairs beside the property and be standing at the pool.
Oh, nice.
And the clubhouse.
Okay.
And go over and have dinner. Or walk to the tennis courts right beside it.
Okay.
Or the park and play with the kids. It's just a great location. 14233 Calais Circle in Gaillardia.
Okay.
And the last one is a Norman property. Cindy Rick Bird built this property, who built our home 7 years ago. This is a modern type home on an acre in West Norman, close to I-35, 2 miles off the interstate.
Is this the first time you're going to have it open?
It's not open this weekend because they're sanding the floors on the inside.
But this is newly coming on the market.
This
then.
is newly on the market.
Awesome.
It'll be
You
done in
heard
about
it
30
here
days.
first.
You did.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right. An incredible primary suite and bathroom that connects to the utility room. It's got a massive pantry. This home over 4,200 feet on an acre is $1,125,000.
Now, what's the address on that one?
That one's 3238 Triple Bar Ranch Road. So you will hit the jackpot if you buy this property.
Well, I've already hit the jackpot because my family, myself, of course, my brother, my mom, have all used Wally as our real estate expert. And now we're going to talk about finding someone you can click with when searching for a home or selling your home, because that's important to be on the same page, correct?
Thanks, Dave. We've appreciated your family's business and the friendship that we formed. It's really cool that we get to sit here today and do this show with you, and you're willing to do so. Yeah, it's finding someone you click with. Cindy and I believe this was a good segment to talk about today, and kind of surprised that maybe we haven't brought this up over the last year that we've been doing the show. So battle scars can be a good thing. I've been doing this for 36 years, and so has Cindy.
Yeah.
Got a few of those battle scars, but what it's done, Cindy, wouldn't you agree, it's brought a lot of experience.
That's right.
Our
We've
way.
kind of seen everything that can happen in a real estate transaction, and so we can know what's going to happen to some extent and help position our buyers through that.
One of the reasons, Dave, is we're managing brokers. So we each manage an office, and the state holds us accountable for the actions of our agents. So it's common every week to hear something new from one of our agents that's come up, Sometimes they need some help solving a problem. Sometimes there's a bigger issue.
Yes.
And so the experience has really, I think, been a benefit to our
100%.
customers.
100%. When you fall off that horse, Cindy, you got to hop back on, right? It's all about the experience.
That's right. And you know what's interesting is you talked about our agents, and we really do a lot of in-depth study about personalities, both when we hire our administrative people, but also with our agents. We have a variety of agents. Some are quiet, detail-oriented. Some might be quicker movers. And we're good at matching those agents with our buyers. So a buyer can have a good experience.
We have agents from being in their 50s and 60s on age. Our youngest agent's 22. And so a lot of younger first-time buyers, Dave, as long as they feel like that agent's got experience, that's a good match. And so when the agents join our team, there's a lot of training they go through. We do sales meetings that educate our agents consistently.
You know, when you go out to buy a car, a lot of times that's for need. And I know that there's a little bit of that, well, as soon as I step onto the lot, I might be hounded by the salespeople and stuff like that. So I could see a little bit of someone thinking about, I want to sell my house. Let me go ahead and pick up the phone and let me look online for a real estate agent. And of course, I can speak from experience, but buying a home is a very emotional purchase. Mm-hmm. It's a very happy time. It's supposed to be happy. You're celebrating a new stage of life.
It's fun.
And to have someone with you in that walk that helps you make it that way, as you guys do, and a lot of agents probably do and should, but I just know, of course, my experience with you guys, that you make that happen. They're going to enjoy the process, because you should enjoy the process from going out and just looking. It's fun to look around at these homes, and then when you find the one you want, to make it an easy process, a win-win for all parties involved. That's very important, can't be understated. But it's just so easy with you guys.
You know, and with our company, we pride ourselves on the fact that we're good at matching our customers with our agents, but we also really pride ourselves on the education that we provide to our agents. You know, just getting your real estate license is just the very first step. There's so much to learn, and we do ongoing training so that we can impart 35 to 37 years of wisdom that we've gained to our agents with specific situations.
More often, Dave, the customers who call us have already done reviews on us. And it's pretty cool because we've got about 500-600 reviews online. You can check them out at Google and check them out at Zillow. More often, a customer will call and say, I went to your company's website and I read reviews for all these different people that you have, and I believe that based on what I read, I'd like to work with Scott. I'd like to work with Jennifer. I'd like to work with Cody. I'd like to work with Kelly. I'd like to work with Blake. And so it's really the customers doing their own research, and we understand that. You'll find us very highly ranked at Google. I mean, high on the search results.
Yes.
So that people are finding and calling us. You said a minute ago, Cindy, us matching the customers with an agent. Yeah, if the customer says, I don't mind whether I work with a man or a woman, and I don't care how old they are or how young they are, as long as they have the experience. Let's go directly to how to find a realtor that you click with. First of all, understand what a real estate agent can do for you. What are their services, and do they offer different services from others? For instance, because we run our guaranteed sale program, lots of people call and say,
yes,
would you come look at my home? I'm thinking about selling it. I wondered what you could do on a cash offer and how the guaranteed sale program works. A lot of those people aren't ready to list. We call that a hip pocket listing, kind of carrying it around in our hip pocket.
And it's nice to have that.
Well, it's great for our buyers.
Yes.
Because a lot of home buyers that we help are buying homes through our firm that we only know about, and they're not having to go in and compete for those listings. Understanding the obligations of your broker. Brokers have an obligation to you that they sign off on, that we sign off on when they agree to work with us, and we have specific responsibilities. You should understand those. I think interviewing a couple of realtors is always a good idea. Mm-hmm. It's still a big process, and you're buying probably one of the biggest assets, right, Dave?
Sure.
I mean, you trusted, and I was able to work my way in with your family to work with you.
Yes.
That made it easier for you to refer family members to me. But had you not known me and considered someone else, if you had said, Wally, I like what I've read online, I don't want to commit to working with you yet. Could I sit down and just have a consultation with you and decide if you're someone I want to work with? And probably in my mind, I'm thinking, and I want to make sure that I'm a good fit for working with Dave.
Absolutely.
So ask lots of questions and do your research and do some interviews. Make sure, like Cindy said, that this realtor really knows about financing. Lowest down payments, bond money programs, down payment assistance, 100% financing. Who's got the best PMI rates, because the mortgage lender in a lot of cases is going to charge mortgage insurance. There's a plethora of items that we could just go through and talk about, but do your research and make sure that you're picking someone, like Cindy said, more importantly, that you trust.
Cindy, when I was going out the first day to go look at homes with Wally, and we got into his car, he just came by and picked me up. And the first thing we hear when he starts the engine up and we take off is Peaches and Herb. And then we heard a little bit of disco, and it was Chic and Kool in the Gang.
That clinched it. Music.
I was a music lover. You know what happens
take
when you...
Take me wherever you want to take me, because I'm ready to open my wallet.
Now, what do you think's playing on Cindy's sound system? If you get in the car to go see homes with Cindy and she hits the key on, you hear horses neighing over her sound system.
It's the soundtrack to City Slickers or Blazing Saddles or something.
Or Urban Cowboy. That would be me, living in the city and not much of a cowboy, but I could try.
Well, fantastic. You can call or text Wally and Cindy at 405-330-3000. You can get a consultation. It can go as far and wide as you want it to go, right? You could just text back and forth.
Wouldn't you say that you can tell a lot over the telephone just by talking to someone? And we can do a Zoom conference. I like looking at people and being able to exchange eye contact, but I believe that just a phone conversation, a lot of us can determine whether someone is the kind of person they'd want to work with or not.
And you know what's cool is we are established. It's important to us to take the time that person has a great experience, and like you did with your family, feels comfortable referring them.
And we may be here on the radio, Dave, but boy, we are loaded with technology. And I know that's something that a lot of people are really interested in, is how can you get me these homes? What technology are you using to find these homes? So we're technology driven also.
All right, we got a little bit of time left. We're going to be back after 2 minutes to wrap up the show. Stick around.
Hey, home buyers, let's talk turkey for a minute. Would you choose a healthy economy or lower interest rates? As of January 5th, the U.S. jobs report says we're in a healthy economy with a larger increase in jobs in the U.S. That leads us to believe the Fed will wait even longer until it begins to reduce its rate. Meantime, the demand for homes always picks up in the spring, with many buyers chasing the same home, and that means more competition for you. With home prices on the rise, doesn't it make sense to get in the market now? A $300,000 home that increases just 2% over the next year will increase $6,000 in value. I'm Wally Kerr, and my team and I offer rock-solid advice about buying a home in a market like this one, where home prices are going up and fewer homes are for sale. Call Kerr Team today at 330-3000. Tell us you're ready to get started with the process. I promise you'll have a great experience working with my team. Call us today at 330-3000.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233, Equal Housing Lender.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
We're about to wrap things up. We talked earlier this hour that there was a bit of an increase in the rates. Hopefully that's not scaring people off. But what is the strategy now, since we did have that this week, for buyers that are wanting to get into home ownership?
It's kind of a gut check, wasn't it, Cindy? A lot of people have been sitting on the sideline and waiting to get in the game in hopes that rates would come down. And they clicked up a little bit this week.
They didn't come down.
And it pushed that 30-year conventional mortgage with most lenders above 7%. Now, that's not what people want to hear. In answer to your question, Dave, strategy. Do you know that was the biggest rate increase in a single day in over a year?
Oh, wow.
And it was all based on data. So, the future of rates this year are kind of ifs and thens, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me, either of you, what the consumer price index is going to do in March? No.
No.
Right? Do you know how many jobs, Cindy, will be created in the month of February? No. There were 353,000 created in January. So these are the ifs and thens. If this happens, then maybe the Fed will consider lowering its rate. If the employment data is strong again next month, could interest rates go up more? So I've never been a big gambler. Cindy and I aren't.
No,
gamblers.
we're not.
And so if I'm not a gambler, I'm going to take the information that I have available to me today and looking at what the Fed is now saying. Several directors from different states in the Fed this last week said, we don't think at all that there will be maybe more than 1 or 2 rate increases, and certainly not anytime soon. So if I were thinking in my mind that in the next 4 to 6 months, I want to buy a home, or I want to sell my home and I want to buy my home, I'm just not a gambler. Maybe if I thought I was going to buy a $400,000 home, maybe I pull back a little bit. And now I say I'm going to go look no higher than $360,000 and see if the home can satisfy what my needs are.
You kind of have to go with what you know now. We don't have a crystal ball. We can't predict. But I think you've done a good job at looking at the economy and, as a layperson, looking at the numbers on unemployment and employment, new jobs. And it is pretty clear what's going on, and that is it's going to stay like this. Probably.
Isn't it strange to think that if the employment data comes in strong again next month and the month after, it's going to be hard to get rates down below 7%?
Yes.
But we talked about that at the start of our show. What do you want? Do you want a strong economy with jobs
That's the
and
key.
salaries and
Jobs.
wages that are going to go up over time?
Yes.
Or do you want a lousy economy and a recession so that the Fed has to lower its rate?
And no job.
Most of our career, rates have centered around 6.5%.
Yes.
We're very close to that right now. Be careful. Don't go out and overspend and become house poor. Choose a home that's within your budget. Figure out what the taxes and insurance are going to be. Be careful about those property taxes. I've seen homes recently that have sold where taxes have doubled or tripled from what was shown online as current taxes. So,
we were at an open house and had a prospective buyer come in, and she thought the taxes would stay the same as what they were at the time. And that house had been owned by a family member who had passed away, and we were selling it for the kids. And those taxes are going to adjust. And Wally explained how they're going to adjust.
You need a consultation to help you plan what your goal is so that we can help you get there, especially on the financial part of this. Well, while the rates are up a bit, and it doesn't look like they're going to be coming down, it's going to be a good market for home sellers this year, Dave.
Yes, and you mentioned, I know that we don't have a crystal ball, but you did kind of lay this out the last 2 months. You said something like this could happen. If people listen to Wally, then they know
they're
that
going to go back to the podcast.
Well, that's one thing. Go listen to the podcast, and it'll prove that Wally said that something like this could happen. But you can get into a home now, and there's ways to get in. Like you mentioned, choose the right home and the right price for you, and then you could refinance when the rates come back to you. You can also do the 3-2-1 buy down kind of thing that helps you get in with a little cheaper and then still refinance. And then you don't have the competition of people in June and July that are going to drive up those prices even more. So it is still a really good time to get in. I know it sounds kind of difficult with those rates going up, but there's ways to really kind of mitigate that.
That was a gut reaction to rates, and I think they'll slip back down a bit. If you're shopping for a home, don't forget to shop for a mortgage. And it's one of the reasons we use Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage, is because their rates and the service are the best that we can find in the industry. Always give out his number. It's 253-2276. He's our preferred lender. We're here to help you in the home buying and selling process. Cindy and I would consider it a privilege to help, as we always say here on the show, your friends, your family, Dave, like we did with you, and yes. Kim and your family. So we'd love to hear from you. I'm not an economist. We read a lot. It was pretty clear to me that the Fed was just not going to lower its rate and that they're going to stay the same. And it looks like that's going to happen for a while. So if you're in the market, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you and love to help you out.
Once again, another show filled with a lot of great information. I believe our 54th show.
Believe that's right, Dave.
Go to wallytalkshouses.com because we talk about great information during this show, but all the past 54 shows, you can find them there, and you don't have to skim through an hour of every single show. There's all little nuggets. So if you're only on the treadmill for about 15 minutes like I am, or you're on it for 45 minutes like Wally is, and you can get a couple of segments in, go to wallytalkshouses.com. Of course, if you are listening to the last part of the show on Saturday, the show repeats at noon on Sundays right here on KOKC. Hey, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl tomorrow. Again, you're out from 1 to 3, and you're going to head home, watch the game. You guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks, Dave. Have a great week.
You've been listening to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr. Heard every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. and replayed on Sundays at noon here on 1520 a.m. and 95.3 FM KOKC. Wally's name is his promise. Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. To speak with Wally directly about selling your home or buying, call or text him to schedule an appointment at 405-330-3000, 405-330-3000, or go to wallysguarantee.com. That's wallysguarantee.com.